He's an evil villain, according to Twitter and everybody else in the world.
Nonsense.
But he is the big star that's running around here. Milo, thanks so much. Are you free yet?
No, I'm not free. I'm still in Twitter jail.
You are in Twitter jail.
I know I invented this supervillain thing, but I don't think anyone with this accent can really be that intimidating.
You know,
although you make us all your villains in movies, don't you?
Well, you know, you walked by here earlier, and I said to everybody, Milo looks like he could be a Bond villain.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. I'm going to dress
platinum hair,
tomorrow.
the dress to impress.
I forgot my cat. I was going to bring the white Persian to stroke, you know?
That would have, you know what? That is the perfect, write to Twitter and say, look, you know what? I've got a pussycat here, and I'm stroking it. How bad can I be?
It's been a while since I've stroked a pussycat.
You are...
Sorry.
You are the hated man in the world.
There we go. We got it in the end.
You cause controversy everywhere you go. You say the things that I think a lot of people think, and you're willing to fight with just about anybody because they bring the fight to you. Does it drive you crazy, or do you just eat it up?
No, I love it. I'm one of those people that doesn't get tired. I'm probably going to drop dead at 50, but I'm fine with that. I want to leave a hot corpse, you know. No, I mean I have a license to say more than other people can say because I don't know. I'm social justice proof. The accent and the gay thing and whatever. People just seem to allow me to get away with more. I've just come to this country as a sort of warning from Europe, really, and I think you have quite a long history of people coming over to do that, whether it's Hitchens or whatever. I see a wonderful country in peril, frankly, starting to forget the importance of the First and Second Amendments, seriously considering putting a Clinton back in the White House, which is just the most remarkable proposition I think I've ever heard.
It is crazy, and you know, I think that's what's going to eventually excite the Republican base that even may, you know, who are Trump curious, as I heard earlier today. And
I called myself Trump sexual to the New York Times, and I was just trying to troll them. I didn't think they'd print it, but they did.
So some people are saying they're Trump curious. I think my buddy Brent said, hey, I think people are Trump curious, and I think, you know, Ted Cruz did not go full Trump tonight.
Well, he didn't go anything. He said, vote with your conscience. What a slippery character he is. He looks like something that crawled out of a lake. You know, he looks like something I left in a tissue, that man. I know, they're sort of like sliming out and, vote with your conscience, refusing to endorse the nominee. Please. What a slippery character he is. Does this man ever think he's going to be president?
Yes, he does. He believes he's ordained from God to be president, and I think that's his whole thing. You're out here, you're having fun. Everybody's wanting to get a piece of you and stuff, and that's got to be a good thing. But what is everybody saying today about you being in the Trump, the Twitter hell that is no more Milo forever because you exercise your amendment rights to say some stuff?
Well, it's more of a shame for other people than it is for me because, of course, people no longer get to listen to get to read my wonderfully witty tweets all day and night. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's the best thing that could ever have happened. I'm doing it now. I've got the world's media at my disposal, and I'm making their lives very miserable. It's something that I saw coming. I knew they wanted me off because they couldn't beat me with arguments, so they had to shut me up, with a suspension instead. I've always been a problem for Twitter. I have friends that work there on the quiet, and they say, Twitter has been aware of the Milo problem for 6 months and been working out a way to get me off the platform. So it was always on the cards, and I saw it coming. And don't worry, I have a plan.
You talk to your friends back home in England, and what do they think of the American political system?
I think they're sort of amused by it. They see a lot of money and a lot of big, colourful characters, but you know what it is? I've come over here largely because I think British people in particular don't really get big characters. They don't really get brash, bold people who don't mind shouting about their own success, who don't mind advertising their own brilliance. And I think I probably fall into that category. And Trump is like that too. So they don't get the Trump thing at all. They find him gauche and brash and unpleasant. I don't. I think he's fantastic.
Well, it's like when I played football over there, and I'm 46 years old. We had Gaza.
You're 46?
Yes, I know.
Really?
I look delicious. I know.
You do. Lickable.
Thank you very much.
Lickable.
Lickable. I'm lickable. Milo thinks I'm lickable, so step off, people. I'm 46. They had Gaza, and they had Eric Cantona and stuff, and the British didn't know how to accept them.
No, and they never really liked those people. Like the press, the way the press came for Cantona and the way the press came for Paul Gascoigne. No, I was growing up at that time, and I just remember this sort of front front page after front page. They just don't like people with an ego. And I'm afraid that's just something I can't change about myself. So I've come to America instead.
Well, that's okay, because we love people with an ego. Hence the reason we got a guy named Donald Trump running for president.
Isn't it fabulous?
And
Isn't
he's got
it
a
wonderful? What a great system where someone like Donald Trump could be the nominee for president. I think it's great.
And it's funny because here's a guy who's a billionaire who everybody thinks, well, he's the guy next door. But he's the guy next door, and he owns 12 of the homes. That's the kind of billionaire he is.
He's the guy that owns your house, the house next door, and everybody. And as far as no, look, Trump speaks very plainly and directly to huge portions of America that have been lied to and lied about for decades by the media. And I think America was waiting for somebody like Trump. America is waiting for somebody to show the Republican establishment that it can't keep sneering at its own voters, that it can't keep, turning its nose up at the people who support it the most, and it can't keep ceding ground, in the culture wars. The left basically now owns universities in this country, owns the media, owns the entertainment industry, and it's time to start taking them back. And the party I threw last night, the Gays for Trump party, I think sent shockwaves through the liberal media because how is this possible? How gay people like Donald Trump? Well, it's because actually, he's the one person who's suggesting things that might keep gay people safe, like should we talk about Islam? And if you contrast that with the platitudes from Hillary Clinton, the sort of, we should all love each other, love wins, changing a Twitter avatar to a rainbow, it looks sort of pallid and pathetic in comparison to Donald Trump, who exudes strength and confidence, saying we're going to fix this.
I think that's what America wants. America likes, American women and men in America, they like leaders and like people who are big and bold.
Too. We all like him. We all like him.
They like a little bit of the dominance. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, no. Everybody likes a bit of that. Men like to sort of measure up against them. Women just imagine themselves with him. And of course, It's
the 50 Shades thing. I mean, think about 50 Shades of Grey, how big that is. Well, what is it about? It's about a man who's, for all intents and purposes, dominant. And guess what?
That's what the ladies want. That's what the ladies want. That's why they love Trump.
You talked about the universities, and we're talking to Milo Yiannopoulos here, we're trying to free him from his Twitter hell, but I think he's enjoying it at times too. Gives
no, do you know what? I can't even pretend to be sad about it because it's just so perfect. They did it exactly the right time for me. It's so great. I can't even pretend to be upset.
You go to universities, and I've seen it, the Black Lives Matter groups, the PTSD that you cause on universities, girls
the safe spaces,
who lose their virginity because of you, even though you got nowhere near them because they're so terrified of you.
Wow.
What is that
I've
like?
never quite seen that, but
what is it like going there and dealing with that stuff?
It's depressing because I came to America thinking this was, the home of freedom, and I thought American campuses, the American university system, surely that would be the place in the world where people were the most free, where people could say, do, and think anything. Actually, the opposite is the case, and they are almost entirely owned, by not just the left. I have plenty of friends who are Democrats. They're nice, ordinary, decent people. We just don't agree on how the state should be organized and private citizens' relationship to government, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. You can have a conversation with them. You can, have dinner with them. But it's a sort of hateful, far-left social justice contingent which only really seeks to divide people and, hates straight white men and all this kind of stuff. It's a very peculiar strand of politics that has infected and taken root in American universities, and I'm doing my best to dig it up and throw it in the dustbin where it belongs.
You talk about the gays. You're gay, obviously. You threw a party last night for gays for Trump. The LGBT community at times has come out hard against you, and
they don't like me very much.
No, they don't like you very much, and you don't care. That's the beauty of it. You just don't give a rat's ass.
Oh no, they're dumb queers. They're really stupid. I call them fags. There are gay people. There are people like having sex with men. They're fags. And the fags are the sort of limp-wristed, Hillary-supporting morons. I mean, all this really proves the fact that gay people like Hillary Clinton just proves that gay people can be as dumb as everyone else. I find it endlessly fascinating that any gay man would ever describe themselves as a feminist. I find it endlessly confusing the way in which the gays will just suck up to the left, despite the fact that Democrats do not have their best interests at heart, and the policies would be totally catastrophic for gays. Welcoming in, pandering to, and mollycoddling Islam, for instance. It's ridiculous.
How does the Republican Party? I mean, we wander around here, and it's cracker-esque. I mean, there's a lot of white folk around here. There's not a lot of. This isn't the place where we're going to get our groove on, if you will. How does the right start to bring some of that there? And the fact is, they got to talk the language. They got to go to the younger generation. They've got to go out into the hoods, into the streets, and talk to them. How do they do that?
Well, I don't think there's anything that 60-year-old men in the Republican Party can really do except embrace characters perhaps like me who are able to authentically speak to young people and are able to connect with them and to talk to them, in real ways. I sort of think, if I'm being honest, the Republican Party is basically unfit for purpose and sort of deserves to burn. And the new party that Trump is building is a lot more exciting to me because it's a party that represents an existential threat to political correctness. It's going to build a wall, fix trade, and do all sorts of other things that America desperately needs. If the Republican Party wants to engage with young people, it needs to drop some of the more excessive social conservatism. The platform wasn't particularly encouraging this year, although Trump will, of course, throw most of it out. And just realize who their voters are and what their voters care about. Because it seems to me that that the Republican Party doesn't have much of an idea who votes for them.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I've been saying that.
I just don't think they know who people are.
People have been bitching at me, and they've been sending me tweets and emails. Oh my God, you're just going hard at white people. I'm like, no, I'm being completely honest. I'm walking around here. I see several brothers, and you know what they're doing? They're vacuuming and they're picking up trash. I don't see a diversity here, and I think it's because they've lost their way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Republican Party, as I say, is probably not fit for purpose anymore. It either needs a complete revolution, restructuring and reimagining, or it just needs to die and something else needs to take its place. I mean, by far the most important division for me is between authoritarian scolds, language police, people who want to control you, whether frankly they're from the religious right or from the social justice left, and the rest of us who just want to be left alone and be left to be free. We can say what we want, do what we want, build businesses, have a nice time, not be interfered with by the government. I think there's this growing libertarian and cultural libertarian consensus in this country now, big enough to elect a president on its own, maybe not, but that libertarian slice of the population, which is maybe 30% of people who just want to be left alone, I think could swing elections in future, and it's up to the other parties to get their worst elements in check and to appeal to those independents.
What's next for you? I mean, here you are. You've got everything right now at your feet. You're going. You're
it's
becoming
nice.
a big star.
I've turned into a little micro celebrity. Well, not even micro. Everybody seems to want a slice of it. It's very nice. It's very nice.
Are we writing books? Are we going to be?
Yes, I have a book coming out this year, and of course, my college tour, the Dangerous Faggot Tour, starts again in October. September. And we're going to be doing another 40, 50 US colleges. One of the things about conservatives, they're really, really lazy. And they think that sitting at home and writing columns is the same as doing something. And I've always been mystified by this you're sort of a commentary magazine or National Review or whatever. They think that publishing a 3,000 word article is the same as doing something. Well, the left has always understood that you need to get into these institutions. You need to go in and start building bases of power in the media, in academia, in the entertainment industry. They've done that very effectively and way better than conservatives. So I'm trying to do something of the same on American college campuses, because ultimately, if you don't fix education, nothing else matters. Because the American colleges are churning out people who are dumber than when they started.
You're going to these colleges, and again, when your claim to fame, what you really took off is when you were going to doing these college tours, and you were there, and Crowder would be there, and several other people would be there, and you guys were essentially, they did everything in their power to make sure that you didn't have a voice of opposition or just a voice to have there. Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Well, they lose. They lost then. They continue to lose. That when their screeching intolerance says better than anything we can say on stage about it speaks more about the strength of their arguments than anything we can say on stage. They keep losing. As I said to the girl, I think it was at UMass when I was on stage with Christina Hoff Sommers and Stephen Crowder, I said to her, you can scream as much as you want, sweetheart, but this event will proceed regardless, and you're not on stage and nobody can hear you. We have the mics and we will continue. So they're losing. They're not winning. They're not able to derail us, and they won't derail us. And there is a gigantic sort of libertarian and conservative revolution building on American campuses, and I'm very happy to be part of it.
The fight with what's her name, Leslie Jones from
oh God! How humiliating that the thing that gets me off Twitter is some fight with a black Ghostbuster. Some feminist halfwit from a terrible movie. My goodness! I thought I'd go out in more of a blaze of glory than that. Actually, the timing worked out very well, as we discussed. But no, I don't know if I think I said this to the Wall Street Journal. I'm not sure if I put it on Twitter, but I just happened to mention that she looks a lot like one of my ex-boyfriends. And I sort of said, what else did I don't know. We exchanged words. But of course, because she is, an actress in this movie that the feminists must defend at all costs, the feminist Ghostbusters, and because she's, a black woman on Twitter squealing about, nasty things that people are saying to her. Well, you know what? We're all in public life, and we all get death threats, and we all get rape threats, and we all get bomb threats, and we all get people saying nasty things about us. Like, it's only really the political left that squeals about it. It makes it a sort of social currency,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I should show you my inbox, or even more so, I should show you the inboxes of conservative women who are treated worse than anybody else. They get far worse stuff than I do. And the way that conservative women are spoken about by the left is obscene. Look at the way they were talking about Sarah Palin, the way they talked about Margaret Thatcher when she was alive, the way they talk about Ann Coulter. I mean, just abominable language. The stuff that's reserved, for no one but conservative women. So but the difference is these conservative women generally don't whine about it. They get on with doing something. And liberals seem to turn victimhood and grievance culture into, as I say, a sort of currency.
His name is Milo Yiannopoulos, and he is everything that is self-promoting and self-loving, and you know what? We need more of that in this country, and it's taking.
I'm very humble, really.
It's taking a Brit to show people, a lot of people of that. We appreciate you coming on your show. We know you're very busy tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I was late.
It's okay. You're fabulous. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
We got more straight ahead on the Chad Benson Show.